Welcome, my friends, to another episode of Pop Culture Fridays. I think this is number 4 on the books. I'm your host, Troy, as always. This week, I'm talking about my favorite 3 contemporary paintings. For some reason, paintings that I've been thinking about a lot, artists I've been thinking about a lot, and these particular works have been on my brain. I've been staring at them constantly. Figured, why not share it with you? Should we get right into it? Here's my third one. Number 3, Interchange by Willem de Kooning. De Kooning was a Dutch-American artist, abstract expressionist. Now listen, if you're not familiar with these terms, it doesn't matter. Abstract expressionism is a term that was associated with painters in the 1940s in New York. Sort of a form of painting where they do things subconsciously, automatically, spontaneously. I'm not a big fan of the word expressionism because I'm not sure why the painter expression has to be part of it. That's just that's a Troy thing. I know it's probably flawed. I like the idea of abstract interactionism or something like you're interacting with the materials, with the canvas, with that moment in time and space. I'm not sure just because you do something spontaneously, it has to be an expression of some sort. Anyway, let's look at this painting. It's beauty. I first saw this in Chicago. I saw it twice last year. If you're in the area, you're going to want to go see this because I don't know how long it's going to be up, if it's even still up. It was made in 1955. One of the things I like about it, besides all the colors and just the shapes and the lines of everything, if you look in the center of it, you'll see like a horse shape. Can you see that? It's a little horse shape. It's kind of subtle, but it's definitely there. Here's what I like about this. You have a very contemporary work, very abstract work, very modern work, and there's a horse in the center that, to me, looks like a cave painting. He's going full circle here. He's bringing it back all the way to the beginning. So we've got the very end and the very beginning, and he's put it all on one canvas. I love this work. De Kooning's amazing, I think. Guy's just a hard brush-stroking man, you know? And fun fact about this piece, and I don't want this to sink in as to something that will deter you from liking it. He sold this in 1955, the same year he created it, for about $4,000. After the gallery cut, that's probably about $2,000. In 2015, a Chicago hedge fund manager, Kenneth something, Griffin, bought it for over $300 million. Jesus Christ, that's fucking insane. That's insanity. I'm not saying it's not a great painting, but $315 million? How much more could you expect it to go up? This is like buying property in New York. It's not going to go up. It's going to go down at some point. Anyway, I digress. Great painting. Check it out, de Kooning. If you don't know anything about it or him, there's a lot of videos you can find online of even like action painting of him like painting live, I think. All right, let's go to the second one. Second one, Agnes Martin, Canadian-born, spent most of her time in New Mexico after that. I love her paintings. They're so, I want to say simple. I don't mean it in a bad way. Minimal. She didn't like the term minimalism, even though that's what it kind of reminds me of. She likes the term abstract expressionist. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. You can see both in her works. You can see there's a minimal quality. The one I'm showing you today is called Happy Holiday from 1999. White peach, pale blue bands on the top and bottom. Graphite pencil lines are set up. You can see them if you're up close. Let me give you a quick quote here. It's striking that Martin doesn't draw a distinction between drawing and painting. On the contrary, she collapses it. The distinction instead is her use of scale. This is so simple and subtle. It looks like a faded beach towel. She's so great at getting these colors to sort of calm down. Very different from the de Kooning, where there are all these brilliant slashes and bright reds mixed in with whites in like a setup. This is all just kind of faded. Like you're not being lectured to, you're being invited in. It's like a very warm, gentle cup of tea on the couch with a close person in your life. And you really get a chance to, I don't know, enjoy it without being sort of yelled at, if that makes sense. And if you go up close, you can see, I've never seen this one in person, but a lot of her works, you can see like the graphite pencil lines that she uses to mark her paintings off. If you look at other works of hers, she has like grids. She'll make different kinds of shapes, very systematic, almost mathematical, geometric in a way. But let me read another quote about this one. Happy Holiday was completed by the duck egg blue and pale peach colors, painted into 9 of the bands using a different type of acrylic Liquitex, which gives a translucent and light reflecting finish. The colored paint strays beyond the demarcation of the pencil lines, giving the work a handmade feel when viewed at close range that subverts the geometric rigidity of the composition. Of the 14 bands, yes, there are 14 bands, only the top and bottom are filled with light blue paint, while the other band alternates between the peachy wash and the white gesso, which originally primed the canvas surface. Now, the bands of color don't quite reach the edges of the canvas. Looks like they do, but they don't. The small gaps create the impression that the blue and the peach washes are floating against the field of bright solid white, which kind of reminds you of Rothko. A little bit. Very different, but this floating, buzzing kind of thing, that's not what I get from Agnes Martin, but I think that's what they're saying here, is that because they don't reach the edges, they're sort of floating in the center. I can't say enough good things about Agnes Martin. I love her work. I've only discovered her maybe like in the last year and a half or so. Love her work. I don't think I've ever seen one in person. I really want to. I got to make more of a commitment to going to places where they have exhibitions of artists that I like Agnes Martin or James Turrell, things like that. So, Agnes Martin, check out her work. Let's get to the final one. This is the one I've been thinking about the most. Pierre Soulages, French painter, born in 1919. Still alive, people. Still alive, still ticking. Tweet at him. I don't know if he's probably not on Twitter. Probably a smart guy. And you have to tweet in French, too. So, he's often associated with abstract expressionism also, but Soulages rejects these comparisons, arguing that his art is less concerned with spontaneity or improvisation than a careful balancing of line and form to achieve a sense of visual harmony. This painting, let's talk about this one. It's called 6 November 1967. Now that tells you a lot, because if it's got the date is the name of the painting, that means he did it and started it same day. Oil on canvas. Again, super simple. I love the blue streak going up the middle with the beautiful black shapes on top, almost like some sort of weird abstract interactionist tree. Love the colors, the brush strokes. I know he's using different tools. There are some videos online showing how he gets these things. He's got these huge long brushes that are like size of double rakes, but he'll also use scrapers and all kinds of tools. If you look at this painting, especially the top, you'll see some similarities or remnants of Robert Motherwell paintings. Now, this is a Robert Motherwell painting, and you can clearly see there's a connection. I don't know who came first. Not that people don't take ideas from other people, but with Soulages, he's okay, because if you look at these other paintings of his, you got the black painting. He got really into black. He's still into black, heavy into the black. And then you look at this other one, very different. These ones, there are other paintings where you can really see the overlapping brush strokes and these great, it's almost like liquid lava, just sort of slathered onto a canvas. Beautiful stuff. I discovered him maybe a couple months ago. I was watching a video with, it was an album of Morton Feldman music. That's another name you should write down. You're gonna like that. Morton Feldman, and somebody, whoever put the video up, in the background image put a Pierre Soulages painting. I was like, what the hell is that? The only time there's ever been a good YouTube comment thread, by the way, scroll down, somebody said, oh, it's a work by Pierre Soulages, so I checked it out. Next thing I know, I'm going through it. Pierre Soulages, French painter, still alive. Check it out. That's what I got for you. Those are my 3 favorite paintings this week on Pop Culture Fridays. Click that like and subscribe button, please. Come on, help me get out of this hole. All right. ArtHouse43.com if you want to contribute, make a donation to the show. At Culture Fridays on Twitter and at Pop Culture Fridays on Instagram. I'm here every Friday. You and me making out-ish, interacting maybe is better. Talking about culture, talking about pop culture. It's a crazy time. We need each other. See you next Friday.